Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Ethan, and this is Roster United. Here today in Roster United, we are going to go and talk about the rest of the Marvel United characters that we need to talk about. There is a good, I think, 12, 13 characters that we still have not talked about yet in the podcast. This is mini episode 20. I'm glad you are all here. I hope you are all doing very well. And let's get started. First and foremost, I'm gonna be telling you a few cool things throughout the episode, such as how has been the first half year of roster united, as well as the official count of followers that we have, as well as a cool opportunity some of you might get the chance to do. But before that, of course, we're going to be talking about some upcoming episodes and podcasts and things that we're going to be doing, uh, you know, and for the podcast. First and foremost, since this is mini episode 20, the next few episodes, mini episodes, I should say, we're just going to be talking about some of the Marvel United characters until we are completely done with Marvel United. Until we'll never be completely done, right? I mean, let's face it. There's a lot more things to talk about. There's a lot more things to yet explore, and yeah. But in this podcast, in Roster United, we have almost gone through all of the Marvel United characters. We've almost gone in depth with all of them. I can't believe it. And well, yeah, so the next few mini episodes, or I should say the not so mini episodes, because really they're still 20 minutes long episodes. But basically, in these not so mini episodes, we're going to be talking about, again, these Marvel United characters. So, yeah, that's it. That's it for the news that we have for today. We will be also trying to make an official episode either this Friday or sometime in the weekend. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let us begin. We're going to be going through a big stack of characters today. We're not talking two nor three. We might be talking four. Um, because I really want to get through these next few characters so then we can just talk about X-Men and make, more hero and zeros with these characters that we just talked about, more lists and things like that. So, yeah, let us begin. Let's start off here with one character. We've probably talked about him or mentioned about him, but we haven't really talked about him like in depth. And this is Howard the Duck. Now, you might have heard maybe Howard the Duck is probably the least best character. All right, basically, he's not that good of a character, and it's sad because Howard the Duck is a cool character. He's pretty funny, but he just doesn't suit the bill. So let's take a look here at Howard the Duck. Of course, we're gonna go from moves, hits, and then or no, from moves, hits, heroics, and wilds. And ladies and gentlemen, for those who are new, to the podcast or new to this, kind of way of how I'm telling you or describing you a character, basically we're gonna be counting all the symbols, all the moves, all the hits, all the heroics, all these different types of symbols. We're going to count them up. Usually, for each symbol, for each category, you do want more than four, except for wilds. Wilds usually have three or more. That's kind of the average. So if they have three, that's fine. If they have more, That's already an A plus on that list. All right, so let us begin here. And yeah, all right. So Howard the Duck has three move symbols. He has four hits and two heroics. Again, three moves, four hits, two heroics. Not really good. He's got really low symbols. He can't really move. He can move, but not that well. Below average. He can hit as an average character, which I mean that's his only best thing he can do is hit. Um, he can't really do that much in hitting nor moving, and he has probably one of the worst stats you can get for a heroic character. So yeah, he's gonna be having lots of trouble. I have played with Howard the Duck like what, like two, three times. I probably have to play more with this character, especially with the new X-Men United character core set box has come out. Maybe there's someone that can team up well with him. But just looking at his stats here, and I also forgot to mention he has three wilds, which is again average. So Howard the Duck is not really that good. He stinks. Okay, let's just be real here. He's just below average character. Don't waste your time playing with him. I mean, if you do, if you're a big fan of Howard the Duck, I'm sorry because I don't know how badly they can mess up a character. Usually Simon does really good with with their thematic, with making the theme of the game or of the characters really well, and I don't think they really liked Howard the Duck. So in his stats, ladies and gentlemen, he is not a good character. Again, I've played with him. I mean, we won, I think, a game, but he's just not beneficial. Doesn't have that many two symbol cards, which is very. And for those of you who don't know what two symbol cards is, it's very simple. In Marvel United, a character has a 12 card deck, and one card at least is going to have one symbol, two symbols, or no symbols. Of course, in any combination. And of course, also every character will have at least three ability cards, and they can either be the same or different, or sometimes they can have even more ability cards. Like Doctor Strange, for example, he has six abilities, all different. That's why he's one of the best characters in the game. But let's see Howard the Duck here. Before I tell you his abilities, in my opinion, every ability usually has a symbol at the bottom of the card, but Howard the Duck has no symbol in any three of his cards. I'm already having issues with this character, especially for those who have, been here since the beginning of Roster United and have heard this podcast and all these episodes that we've made. I really like characters that have lots of good symbols, especially lots of good moves, enough hits and heroics to sustain that character. And of course, if you're going to have an ability, you got to have a symbol on the card, and Howard the Duck does not have that. So let us begin here. Howard the Duck has a card called Big Frickin' Gun. It says here, deal 2 damage in any location. Now, out of the 3 cards, this is probably the best one. All right, so yeah, this ability is just not that good. Or no, excuse me. Sorry, I was looking at the other abilities. This ability, Big Freaking Gun, is probably the best one. Like I said earlier, it's just so awesome. Just getting the 2 extra hits is fantastic, but also adding that you can deal those 2 damages in any location. In any location. That is fantastic. That gives Howard the Duck some more range. I enjoy that one. You also have No More Mr. Nice Duck. Says here, deal 2 damage to each enemy in your location. This one is okay. I don't really know the purpose of dealing 2 damage to an enemy in your location, because a minion is on, or no, not a minion, excuse me, a thug is, you can already take down a thug with one hit. Wasting the other potential hit that you could have used for nothing. I do get that you can deal 2 damage to the minion or the threat bad person, the minion and the threat cards, right? Dealing 2 damage to that person is also really well. But I can see that this can be a really good card because there is some um, threat cards, or are they threat cards? Yes, threat cards. And basically, some threat cards are like every thug, yeah, every thug, to defeat a thug, instead of using one hit, you have to use 2 hit symbols just to defeat one thug. So this ability is really good for that. But other than this, you're wasting a lot of potential hits, that could be used in some other time or in a more specific time. But overall, it's a pretty good card, I can't lie. Last, but certainly not least, we have the Neutron Distingrator. It says here, deal damage to a villain or henchman. And by henchman, it basically means the threat card. The threat cards usually have sometimes have like a mini villain. Well, they are called henchmen. Yeah. In your location. So deal damage to a villain or henchman in your location until they have 1 health. You can't use any hits this turn. So with this card, I can basically take down the villain from 10 health points all the way down to 1. That is fantastic. This is, I mean, other than the 2 hits in a location, this is a really good card, a really good ability. I can't lie, Howard the Duck has some pretty good abilities out there. Only problem is that his stats aren't that good. You have to team him up, and you have to team him up with a lot of good characters. Now, since this is the show where we go in depth with these characters, if you really want to be successful with Howard the Duck, I recommend teaming him up with a move character as well as a heroic character. I think Howard the Duck is a good 3 to 4 player character, a 4 player game or a 3 player game, just because the other 2 characters can support Howard the Duck while he's doing his thing. I think Howard the Duck is a pretty big hitter, and I think he can be really useful in a way. But if you don't team him up, with the specific characters that he needs, Howard the Duck is not gonna be is not gonna be a good character at all. I mean, yeah. So overall grade out of a 5, or overall out of a 5, usually when we rate our characters, we want them to be a 3.5 or higher. Anything lower from that is not that good of a character. Howard the Duck, in my opinion, is a 2.5. Again, one of the reasons I think about that is because he has 3 pretty good abilities, but there's just no combining with other characters. There's no cool combinations that you can do with this character. You have to really, you know, use 3 characters, or you really have to support Howard the Duck with all 3 characters that out of the 4. And yeah, Howard the Duck is just he's okay. He's there. I mean, I like his abilities. He's got some good stuff, but I mean, not really the best character by far. And yeah, actually, I did a little blog earlier. I'll talk about more about the blogs after the episode is about to finish. And I talked about there of my list of the top 57 characters of Marvel United, starting from least to favorite. And, overall, I thought Howard the Duck was the worst character in Marvel United. And I don't know. There's probably a few of you that agree with me. Again, I have nothing against these characters. It's just how they play in the game. That is all. That is all. So Howard the Duck, good abilities, not that good of a team player, not that good at anything else, really. Next up, we have another character. She is um, mostly known for the MCU, starting in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and she is Mantis. Yes, Mantis. We all know Mantis. Very cool character in the MCU. Her abilities are, well, they're just abilities. I mean, it's not like a suit or nothing like that. Or she doesn't really have. How do I say this? She doesn't really have that much. Uh, what was it? She doesn't really have that much cool stuff. I like the antenna thing that she has. That's pretty cool. But other than that, I mean, that's kind of it, right? But in this game, every character can be a little different. You know, can be a little different. So let's go check out Mantis. Um, and yeah, let's go. Let's do this. Mantis here has 3 moves, 3 hits, and she also has 6 heroics. Sorry, I had to count that again. So again, 3 moves, 3 hits, 6 heroics, and 4 wild. She's got 1 extra wild. That is really good. If you wanted to know a little Marvel United knowledge, not a lot of characters have an extra wild. Actually, out of all 57 characters, not even 50% of the characters, not even 40% of the characters have an extra wild. Or, I should say, have more than 3 wild symbols. So, having an extra wild is really amazing and really rare in this game. Now, let's talk about her stats here. The 3 moves, we can work with that. It's definitely not 4. It's not average. It's okay. It's not the best. But yeah, I don't really like the moves. But again, we can work with that. That's okay. At least it's not like 1 or 2. She also has 3 hits, as we've said before, and that's okay. Just like the moves, we can work with that. I don't really think there's nothing really special with these first two. She's definitely not a hitter. She's definitely not a mover as well. But she does have, surprisingly, a big amount of heroics. Again, 6 heroic symbols. That is a lot. And just to mention to you, because since this is a podcast, you can't necessarily see what I'm singing. But Mantis does have a double heroic card, as well as 2 move and heroic cards. Having those two symbol cards are really important in team play. It lets yourself and the next player or the next character do more things in his or her turn, having a potential of up to 4 actions that character can do. Again, Marvel United is a game about compounding, making cool combinations with characters, and finding the perfect match. And Mantis, I think, can definitely do that. She doesn't have that much two symbol cards as we can see here. She has 5 two symbol cards. Now you might be thinking, well, 5 out of 12, that's pretty good. And it kind of is, surprisingly. 5 two symbol cards is actually the average. It's not even 50% of the deck. Yes, I finally used percentages at one time. Anyway, yeah, so if you don't really know, or if you don't really have listened to our recent episodes, I don't really use percentages. I don't want to get into it. It's an inside joke. You might know it if you've been listening to the podcast lately. But basically, not even 50% of the deck characters don't have two symbol cards. So at least having 5 two symbol cards is good. It's average. It's solid. Okay, move on. That's okay. Whatever. But also, like I'd like to mention, just like before, Mantis does have those two hit and heroic cards. And if you want to know a little bit about myself and what I like in this game, I like moving hits and moving heroics because that lets you go to a new location, or that lets you go to any location that is next to that character and hit there or play or do a heroic. Honestly, I know there's a lot of people out there, especially, there's some family members and some friends of mine that might think that the move and the hit is important, but it's not. I personally think that the move and heroic cards are the most strongest ones because you don't just move, but you could place heroics, and that's to save a civilian or to place a heroic token on the threat card. Two things you can do there. For the moving hits, of course, you can do two things, but that's really it. Excuse me. I meant to say that the heroics you can do two things. In the hits, you can only do one thing, which is hit. That's all you can do. With these heroics, at least you can place them in the threat cards or save a civilian. So there's multiple things where you can do. There's always going to be something in a location to use a heroic, even if it might not seem as much as hitting a civilian or taking down a minion, whatever. Who cares about that? Heroics are actually a lot stronger. I do like hitters. I do like hit characters, but really Mantis is growing on me. I really like her heroics, and just like I said, heroics are just stronger in my opinion. She does also have a double hit card that is pretty good, but again, it's not the same as having a move and hit because sometimes you can hit in your location, that's fine, but maybe you can only do it once, or there's only one thing for you to hit and you're wasting the other symbol. So yeah, so having that move and hit is really flexible for you. All right, enough of flexible and stuff. Now it's time to see Mantis's abilities. She's got 3 separate abilities. And other than Howard the Duck, Mantis has 2 heroics and a wild, all in these cards. So there's a heroic on one card, another heroic on another card, and on the last card, she's got the wild, the extra wild. So, yeah. Let's go in here. We got Mantis's abilities. She's got psych healing. Psych. No, it's not psychic. It's psych healing, I think. Oh my goodness, I might be saying this wrong. Excuse me if I'm saying these wrong. I do not mean to. I need to freshen up on my language because I don't know if you can clearly tell I'm not fluent in English. That is my fault. And I'm running a podcast. That's a great combination for me to have. Anyway, psych healing. It says here another hero draws 2 cards. So Mantis, whoever's playing as Mantis, can choose any player or choose any character and let them heal or draw 2 cards. That is really good. Again, and I've said this probably literally 100 times throughout our 36 episode run right now, that really Mantis has just been doing. I mean, she can basically give out 2 cards, and that is really good. Um, you in Marvel United, you usually start with 3 cards in your hand, and you can only get 3, unless if you get a card like this. And your cards are your life. And whenever you get hit by the villain or something like that, you have to discard 1 card from your hand. If you have 0 cards in your hand, you are KO'd. It's not the end of the game. It's not necessarily the end of the game, although in some cases it can be. But basically, here Mantis can let you draw 2 cards. Now, I think this is fantastic because other than other abilities that say draw 2 cards to a hand size of 3, I don't like that because, you know, I can already have 2 cards in my hand, and then this other player who's being really nice to me is trying to give me 2 cards, but I can only go up to the hand size of 3. I don't like that. And, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there is some abilities out there. We might be seeing it today or tomorrow, but basically, yeah, it's a pain. But Mantis here can let you draw 2 cards. So you can have potentially 5 cards in your hand. That is fantastic. There is no hand limit to there's no hand limit size per se in your hand, but you do start with 3 cards, and some abilities only let you go to 3, and that's it. So having this ability is really awesome. She also has emphatic manipulation. Okay, emphatic manipulation. It says here, and this is the one with the wild on the bottom. That says here, cancel any BAM on the next master playing card. This is fantastic, but you're also doing a little risk here. You do cancel the BAM effect, which is usually the bad thing that the villain does on their turn. And here you can cancel that BAM effect, which is really awesome. But again, you can't really see what the villain's BAM is going to be. I guess in a way. Well, you do see what the BAM is. You just don't know when. But yeah, no, you know what? No, 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 no. The more I think about it, the more I read this, it says here, cancel any BAM on the next master plan card. Okay, so let me rephrase this. Basically, here, no matter what master plan card comes up next, when you see a BAM on any of the master plan cards that will come out in the future, you can cancel it. That is really great. I do like that. And you can choose, right? It says cancel any BAM on the next master plan card. Cancel any BAM. Interesting. Interesting. So I do like that because, again, I've had this happen to me many times, and maybe those who are listening, it might have happened to you many times. But basically, here you see Mantis can stop the BAM. Usually, a villain can kill you, can end the game with a BAM, and it really gets you ticked off. But we see here Mantis can definitely stop that and let you go for an extra turn and be safe. I like that a lot. She also has astral projection. It says this turn you may use each action as if you are in a different location. Wait, what? This turn you may use each action as if you are in a different location. So yeah, it kind of speaks for itself here. I'm kind of getting a little confused because I have something in my head that I think it is, but yeah, yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna come back to you. For me, it'll be a long time, but for you, it won't. It'll be like a couple of seconds. I'll be back. I'll research more about this ability. Okay, I don't know about you, but where did that cow come from? I'm confused. This is a board game. This is a board game podcast. Are you serious? I told you to edit this thing. Oh, forget it. All right, whatever. Anyway, I finally figured it out. That ability, basically, you can use any of your actions in any location. It's just saying it differently, right? You may use each action as if you are in a different location. Basically saying, hey, look, every action you have, use it in any location. That is really good. Gives her some range as well as some as well as some well, what else does she give her? No, really, just yeah, all right. I don't know where I was going there. I had something in mind, but basically it gives her extra range, which is really good. Getting range in a character is pretty good. I really like it. I really like that. And I like Mantis. I think she's a great character. And we're gonna change the ratings here. I think personally that a 3 or higher should be approved, not a 3.5. So yeah, let me change that right now. It's still the same thing for Howard the Duck. He was still lower than that, but I think Mantis is a solid 3.5, 3 out of 5. I think she's right in the middle of good and bad. Again, her moves and hits aren't as strong, but she does have some pretty good abilities as well as a decent a decent stat number. So yeah, Mantis is a solid 3, and she's not rotten per se. She is approved. She is a good character. Now let's go next into our next hero. Now I know usually these mini episodes, which should be named not so many episodes, because now we're 30 minutes in. I can't believe this. This is amazing. Going to be one of the longest episodes. But I did say this would happen, though. I did say this was going to happen, and I wanted this to happen. I wanted longer episodes where we go in depth. You know, that's what I wanted to do. Anyway, now for our next character. Who knows? This might be our final character for today before the announcements. I can't believe I forgot. We still have announcements to do. Anywho, basically, we have this next awesome character. Really funny. Has been getting kind of popular. She's another strong female character in the MCU, and this is Nebula. Yes, Nebula. She's a really cool character. By the way, if you haven't seen the MCU, you are crazy. And if you like DC, well, that's your own personal opinion. Anyway, see, that's what I get for teasing DC. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. You like whoever you like. That's fine with me. But basically, Nebula, really cool character. Is she cool though in Marvel United? Will she get a 3 or will she be higher than a 3? Who knows? Well, let's figure it out. Nebula has, just like always, okay, look, before I get in here, guess the number of moves that Nebula has, okay? It's basically the same crap that we've been getting these last two characters. Ah, my gosh, why? Nebula has 3 moves. She has lots of hits. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. 3 moves, 8 hits. And she's also has, oh no, 2 heroics. Boy, oh boy. All right, well, let's get in depth with this thing. So basically, here Nebula has lots of great lots of good hit number 8. That is really amazing. Honestly, outstanding. But believe it or not, there's actually more hitters, more hit numbers in the game. Believe it or not. I mean, you think 8 is a high number for this game? It ain't. It ain't. And there's some worse characters to talk about. But Nebula here, I think she's pretty good. I don't like her two heroics. I don't really like a lot her three moves. I mean, but compared to the other hitters that we've seen throughout Marvel United, she probably has the most moves with the 8 hits that she has. Um, she's okay on again. She's okay on the moves. Oh, she's pretty bad on the heroics. Fantastic on the hits. Now, what about the wilds? Well, just like Mantis, she does not have 3 wilds. Instead, Nebula has 4 wilds. I like that. I like that a lot. And that really helps because having those wilds, again, wilds in the game can be moves, hits, and heroics, right? Any of those 3. And it's really cool because not just you can use your own wild. I mean, the next character can use your wild to be any symbol they need. It's awesome. So having that extra wild is always a good thing. So yeah, stat wise, not looking too good. Again, hits good, wild's good, heroics not so good, and moves as well. Man, we've been seeing some bad movers today in today's episode. All right, so now let's move through in. Let's see these abilities that Nebula has. Let's see here. I'm very curious. She has um regeneration implant. You may draw cards until you have 3 in your hand. I like that. Again, this is one of the abilities that lets you only draw to the hand size of 3. But it's really good because if you have 1 card, drawing back to 3 can give you, well, plus 2 more cards in your hand. Really, really awesome. There's also electroshock batons, which say uh, deal a damage in both adjacent locations. That gives her a great range. Again, not just in one adjacent locations, but both adjacent locations, really giving her again that awesome range and just more hits. I mean, that is a potential of 2 hits with just that ability, plus the hit on the bottom of the card as well. She also has image. Oh my god, imagine. What am I doing to myself? Ah! Okay, imagine projection. It says here every hero can swap a card from their hand with one of their cards in the storyline. Remove the top card of the Master Plan deck from the game. Again, every hero can swap a card. So basically, and this is a really cool ability. You can take one of your cards from your hand and swap it with one of their other cards from the storyline, meaning the cards that have already been played. And this is cool because you can play with the double wilds, right? Let's say you already played that. Well, with this ability, you can place this card. You can play any of your cards and swap it for that double wild and get it back. Really like that. And it's not just that, but it's also the little bonus there as well. Remove the top card of the Master Plan deck from the game. That is fantastic. It could be something bad. For example, in the Sinister Six expansion, which we'll talk a little bit more about that in another episode. But basically, in that expansion, there is a card that says Return of the Sinister Six, and all of the defeated Sinister Six villains that you have, well, defeated, will come back into the game. So with Nebula's ability, you can, well, yeah, I mean, it's a little risky, right? You don't know what you're removing, but you could potentially remove the top card of the Master Plan deck. And hey, if you're lucky, you can remove a really, really awesome card that the villain has that could potentially let you win the game. So, solid performance by Nebula. And again, just like we go in depth with these episodes, who is Nebula good to compare with? She is fantastic. She'll be fantastic, in my opinion, with a move character. Just having all those hits, plus her ability to do even more hits and do her regeneration abilities, which lets her get 3 more cards in her hand, or lets her draw cards until she has 3 in her hand. Having all that having all that great fun stuff is really awesome. So just letting her have more moves, and of course, if you want to, throw in there maybe a heroic character, that'd be nice as well. So yeah, Nebula, solid character. I don't like her heroics. I don't really like her moves, but her hits, her wilds, and her abilities really makes me want to rate her a 3. And I think I will let that happen. So Nebula, you get a 3 out of 5. That is a passing grade, such as Mantis. All right, ladies and gentlemen, due to time, due to the time that we're doing, I think we're going to try to end it here. Of course, not the episode. The episode's still not ending. We still have a few cool new announcements and things to say at the end. But for the main attraction, this is it. Now, now before we move on, I want to rate Nebula, Mantis, and Howard the Duck from least to greatest. So let's begin. In third place, it's going to go with Howard the Duck. Again, just not that good, especially compared to these next 2 characters that we're talking about. At place number 2, I think Nebula is going to be there. Just not enough stats, just not enough, good stats that she has, and her 2 symbol count, 2 symbol cards. Her 2 symbol cards are just not that well compared to the next character. Congratulations to Mantis for winning today's top hero, in my opinion. Of course, this is my opinion. You guys can make your own top 3 list, whatever. That's fine. And hey, if you want to tell me who you thought in order, what these characters, what these characters were from least to greatest, you can always do that on Board Game Geek. Search me up there. I didn't really know my username, but it is, I think, capital T, or it's basically the underscore lion underscore review, capitals and the first letters. The username will be in the description down below. Anyway, it's been a very fun time doing this in depth, and of course tomorrow we'll be doing 3 more, and hopefully we can do 4 more. I'll run through them pretty quickly. But yeah, it's been really fun to do this, and especially today, it's been really fun getting this big episode out for you all to enjoy. Now, the cool announcements are about to begin. Yes. Oh my goodness, this is going to be awesome. Officially, Spotify has given me information the throughout this year, and I want to share with you some of that information that Spotify has given me. If you have if you have a podcast idea and you want to make a podcast for free without literally anything, there's nothing. It's awesome. Anyway, it's free. You can make a podcast about literally anything you want, like I did, right? Come on now. You can always go to anchor.com. It's by Spotify. They give you free, cool custom music. They let you record. however long episodes you want. It's just a great place to do some episodes and to do a podcast literally about anything you want and customizing it however you like. And thanks to them, since it's almost the end of the year, they gave me some information, and I'd like to share with you. So first up, if you want to know the official day roster united was made, it's May 12th. May 12 was the first ever episode that has ever been released. Of course, this is mini episode 01 that just came out. And I can't believe 19, 20 episodes later, we're doing this episode. I just can't believe it. It's so awesome. And since from May 12th, I already did the calculation for you. I just released this episode on the 13th of December. So it's been officially 7 months and 1 day of roster united. So it's been really fun, um, you know, being here, doing this podcast with you, talking about a game that I really enjoy, and one of the reasons I really enjoyed it was because of its big roster of characters, and it's Marvel. I mean, who does not like Marvel? As well, and just to give you a little hint of what we've been doing and how long things have been going, not just the 7 months, but what have we been doing in these past 7 months? Well, I have, thankfully, with the help of many guest stars, I guess you would say, and co-stars, and just everything, and host stuff. I have thankfully released 665 minutes of content in 35 episodes, not including this one. 665 minutes. Now, to do the math for you, that is around 11 hours and a half. That's 11, or I should say 11.5 hours of content in just 35 episodes. Really awesome stuff. I never thought I would ever do a podcast that has grown this big, and it's just been so fantastic. Also, the official count of followers all over the world. We have followers from India, Canada, the United States, Germany, and so much more listening all over the world. And our official count of followers that was last updated on the 1st of December was 312 followers. 312 followers, and that is fantastic. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to the podcast. It's been really cool. Great run that we've been having right now. And, I hope I can provide with more content. I know I'm not really the best at doing an episode every week, but at least every 2 weeks, at least releasing 2 to 3 episodes per month is what I'd like to do. But of course, since this is December, since winter is coming up, one of my favorite seasons, we're gonna be releasing a lot more stuff. But anyway, so yeah, 312 followers. Thank you so much for following. And again, if you haven't been following, please, and if you're in Spotify or Google Podcasts or wherever you're listening to your podcast at, please click that either bell notification, that follow button, whatever it is, so you don't miss out on any new episodes like this one. I am so happy, so thrilled that you guys are listening to the podcast. And please leave down a review so I can see what I have to do better or what you guys like me to do more. And it's just been so good. It's been fantastic. I even had, Spotify has even given me a thing where they say, how or when do my listeners listen to me? And it says here that 82% of my listeners listen between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. Now, this may change throughout the duration. Maybe you guys don't listen throughout those few hours, but 82% of them do, and they did say here that it's one of the top things in their list, in their to-do list, and I'm just so proud to and so happy, so thrilled that you all just listen and just just have a great time here. There's been lots of fans that have reached out to me saying how much they enjoy the podcast, as well as some fans even giving me more options and things to talk about. And I just want to say thank you all so much for that. We also have a new website that just came out called called the official mullycast.boxmode.io. That is the website, you know, IRL, or what's it called? Well, basically, it's the link. That's what it is. It's the link again. Official mullycast.boxmode.io. The link will be in the description below. And basically, here you will get the chance to do something amazing. You will get the chance to do something so cool, and that personally, I think if we can get this right, you could be a part of the team. Go to this link, click on the second page, and there you will get the chance to do something thrilling. And not just that, but also you can contact me through Board Game Geek, send me the message, and we can get this thing done. Now you might be wondering, what am I saying right now? Well, you have to go and check it out. Again, link will be in the description down below. And not just and don't we just have that new website, but we also have the Roster United website, which has been going on now officially for 3 months. It's the 3 month anniversary. No, not 3 months. Wait, no, I'm reading that wrong. No, 5 months. Excuse me, 5 months. Wow, I still can't believe it. 5 months of the website that has been officially aired. And you can search it up on Google, Safari, or anywhere like that. So yeah, it's really awesome. Again, here is where you can see the full rosters of Marvel United and X-Men United. You can see all the villains there. You can see the hero stats and all that stuff. Now, the cool new thing and the cool new feature I wanted to talk to you guys about was the blog. Yes, we have a new blog where we'll literally do cool little lists, as well as cool little we'll do tips and tricks. We have right now going a top 57 best Marvel United characters ranked from least to greatest, where we have what's up. We'll do all that. We're doing all that fun stuff. We've recently released what is it now? 6 blogs right now, and you can read them for free on our website. So on our website, yeah. So the link will be in the description down below for that as well. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to today's episode. It's been really something extra special. I can't believe 312 followers has been approved of, and that is fantastic. Please keep it up. Just it's been so fun to do this. As you know, tomorrow, hopefully, I can release another episode talking about more characters that we still haven't that we still haven't done in depth with yet. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. I am your host, Ethan, and this is Roster United.